Hey baddies, in today's video I'll be showing you amazing hairstyles for black girls. And so I like to make this channel very engaging by giving you a voiceover to tell you a story time to make each video fun and interesting. So be sure to subscribe and join the family. If you want to be featured in any of my stories, be sure to email me at allstylesbybaddies@gmail.com. Today's story is from an anonymous subscriber of how I lost my best friend over a guy. Now this is a cautionary tale of love and loyalty. It is a story about friendship, love, and the choices we make when we are caught in the middle. As some of you may know, I have always been a bit of a hopeless romantic. I believe in fairy tales, I believe in love at first sight, and I believe that true love can conquer all. What happens when that true love comes between you and your best friend? For me, that's exactly what happened. My best friend, let's call her Emily, and I had been friends since high school. We did everything together. We went to the same college, studied abroad together, and even got our first apartment together. We were more than just friends, we were sisters, but everything changed when I met him. His name was Jack, and he was charming, handsome, and charismatic. We met at the party, and I was immediately drawn to him. We talked for hours, and I felt like I had known him my whole life. As we started dating, Emily was initially supportive. She would ask me about Jack and listen to me gush about how much I love him. But as time went on, I started to notice that Emily became more increasingly distant. She would cancel plans at the last minute or not respond to my text. At first, I thought it was just because she was busy with work or school, but as the months went by, I realized that something was wrong. It wasn't until we had a huge fight that I realized what was going on. Emily had been feeling left out of my life, and she felt like I was choosing Jack over her. She said that I had changed and that I was no longer the same person she'd known for years. I was taken aback by her words. I had no idea that she felt that way. I didn't know how to respond. As we continued to argue, I realized that Emily was right. I had been spending all of my time with Jack, and I had been neglecting our friendship. But what I didn't realize was that Emily had feelings for Jack too. As I reflected on our argument, I realized that I had been so caught up in the relationship with Jack that I had neglected my friendship with Emily. I had taken her for granted, assuming that she would always be there for me no matter what. But now, I was faced with the possibility of losing my best friend over a guy. It was a wake-up call, and I knew that I had to make things right with Emily. I decided to reach out to her and apologize for my part of our argument. I sent her a long text message explaining how I felt and asking her to forgive me. But to my surprise, Emily didn't respond. She didn't even acknowledge my message. It was as if she had cut me out of her life completely. I was devastated. I had never felt so lost and alone. I didn't know what to do or how to fix things with Emily. As the days went by, I couldn't shake off the feeling that I had lost my best friend forever. I would see her posts on social media, and it would hurt me to think that we were no longer close. But then, one day, I received a message from Emily. It was a simple message, just a few words, but it gave me hope. Meet me at the coffee shop at 2 p.m., the message read. I was nervous as I waited for Emily at the coffee shop. I didn't know what to expect or what she wanted to talk about, but as she walked in and saw me, I could see the tension in her body. She looked hurt and angry, and I knew that I had a long way to go to make things right with her. "Hey," she said, sitting down across from me. "Hey," I replied, trying to sound calm. We sat there in silence for a moment before Emily finally spoke up. "I don't know how I can forgive you," she said, her voice shaking. "I feel like you chose him over me, and that hurts." I took a deep breath and tried to explain myself. I told her how sorry I was and how I had taken her for granted. I told her that I valued our friendship above everything else, and that I would do anything to make things right with her. But as I looked into her eyes, I could see the doubts and uncertainty there. I knew that it would take time to rebuild our friendship and that it wouldn't be easy. As I sat there, looking into Emily's eyes, I could see the hurt and betrayal still lingering there. I knew that I had a long way to go to regain her trust and forgiveness, but I was determined to try. I told her that I would do anything to make things right between us, and that I valued our friendship above everything else. Emily looked at me for a long time, then finally nodded. "I appreciate your apology," she said, "but I need time to think about whether or not I can forgive you." I nodded, understanding I don't expect you to forgive me right away, I said, "but I hope that you can find it in your heart to forgive me eventually." Over the next few weeks, Emily and I barely spoke. I gave her the space she needed and focused on rebuilding our friendship from the ground up. It wasn't easy, but slowly, Emily began to open up to me again. We started hanging out, just the two of us, and I made sure to prioritize our friendship above everything else. It took time, but eventually, Emily forgave me. Our friendship wasn't the same as it had been before, but it was stronger and more resilient. And as for Jack, I realized that he wasn't the right guy for me. I broke up with him and focused on rebuilding my friendship with Emily. In the end, I learned a valuable lesson about the importance of prioritizing my friendships and not taking them for granted. And I am grateful to have Emily back in my life, stronger and more resilient than ever. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this story time and that you learned something valuable from it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, loves.